rosin?
So, who the fuck is that?
Ooh, look at the foil, shiny. So I'm Kyle Lives. This is
Val.
my gal Val here. We're talking about some rosin. We've been working together for a couple years now. Has it been a couple years?
Feels like it.
It feels like it. We've been working together for quite some time. Val has a long listing of expertise as far as cannabis grow and awareness on cleaner operations. I've been very impressed with everything that she said to me, the patients or anybody coming through. What started your passion into cannabis, really? What got you into it?
I got into cannabis because I knew it was my medicine and what I needed to level out and stay calm in this world without prescription drugs or doctors.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about when did you kind of come to that conclusion in your life? At what age or what was going
So I
on?
really started chasing cannabis in about 2016 when I quit being an EMT and quit working in healthcare after
Okay.
15 years.
A lot of trauma working as an EMT.
See a lot
So
of trauma.
sleep wise,
See a lot of trauma.
that can be a big issue. Sleep, food, being hungry, you know, emotions, hormones, everything's kind of wrapped up into
not
that
working
lifestyle.
on a regular schedule.
Yeah, true. You know, just like you would think somebody in service or in the military kind of going through some sort of PTSD.
It's very similar PTSDs in both fields.
Yeah. Initially, did you start out smoking it or eating it, or what was your story?
I started out smoking it in secret in high school.
Oh, shit.
Because I needed something.
Oh,
all of my friends were against it because I was varsity swimming and varsity tennis and that.
Michael Phelps in it.
Yeah.
Putting it down.
That was frowned upon at the time, you know, and we were still criminals at that point.
Onto a similar thing when I first got out of the Marine Corps and I was back home, I never really had an appetite, never slept real well. Communication was very poor. You know, it was either strict and regimented or goofy and way outside, you know, to where no one could really relate on that one. So cannabis kind of brought me to a more homeostasis mindset, you know, and being able to interact with people and sleep wise and also appetite. And you spent some time in the grow operations?
I did. So when I left Arizona in 2016, my mission was to just kind of chase cannabis around the country and live on my own accord. So I did a lot of plant work, trimming, helping out with different grows.
Okay.
Had a couple of fair size operations up in Northern California. We did pretty good. And then some of the guys I was working up there were making rosin.
Okay.
So I was introduced to that, and at first I thought it was kind of the keg stand of the weed world and too much. But then I got to know how that they were making it and how clean it could be.
So you say rosin, right? Not resin.
Correct.
What's the difference between rosin and resin?
So when you're getting these concentrates, they're extracted in several different ways. Butane is a substrate that's used very often. Alcohol, CO2, and then ice water, heat, and pressure.
Okay.
So resin is going to be more of your butane extracts. Rosin is going to be your ice water, heat, and pressure. So this is the cleanest that we're going to be able to get our concentrates.
Okay.
And that's in the rosin form. And that's made by taking, basically you put a bunch of weed into a bag with ice water and you're going to wash it. And then it's going through this tiered mesh bag system.
Is this like ice water hash?
Correct.
Okay.
Bubble hash.
Bubble hash.
What everybody knows is classic bubble hash.
Okay.
From there, you're going to put it in a heat press and squish it.
Okay.
And then you're going to get your rosin. So all the plant material is extracted, all the chlorophyll is extracted, and you're just left with a pure medicine.
As far as using that, what's the most, like, I mean, is dabbing it or rolling it in a joint or smoking it?
So you can go about that several different ways. You can vaporize a pure concentrate of rosin. You know, you can do that in like what a lot of people like, the Puffcos or a little dab rig.
Shout out to Puffcos. I love those guys.
Also, the terp pens are very nice because they're rechargeable, very portable, and it takes away the crackheadiness feel of using a blowtorch.
The glass and the blowtorch.
Yeah, I always kind of thought as that of that route as being UC kind of way to use rosin. Now we can control the temperatures. We've got these straws that are very gentle, and you're able to use it in a much more medicinal way.
Okay. Different temperatures. I know with some you get different cannabinoids or terpenes burned off.
Yeah. With the lower temperatures, myself, if I want more of the terpene profile, I'm going to set it around 430 degrees.
Okay.
If I need a big blast and we're dealing with some stuff today, I'm going to take it up to about 550.
Okay. So the lower the temperature, the more terpenes. The higher the temperature, the more THC.
Correct.
Is that what that kind of sounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like a little taste. We're going to ease into it gentle on the lower temperatures. The higher temperatures, we're going for a blast. We're having a crisis. We need to take something now.
It's a quick remedy. What all do we have right here as far as different reasons of rosin or resin or hash, ice water?
So these ones here are rosin. So that was going to be made doing the bubble hash process and then pressing it. So this is going to be our cleanest of what we have sitting here. These are all extracted using butane. Now, there's argument with how clean that can be because if you could check the lab reports and see the numbers. Mm-hmm. However, those machines can only quantify down to a certain limit. So I'm not convinced that you're ever actually going to get all of the butane out.
Okay. What about the CO2 methods? Is that still used out there, or is it?
I believe it is. I need to research more about that. But if we were going to go with any sort of solvent, that would be my choice.
The cleaner of the solvents is the CO2.
So from the concentrates, we can go into making all kinds of different medicines. You can make topicals. We can make edibles from here.
Okay.
And then using this versus using flower cannabis, you're going to have less of a weedy taste in your edibles.
Okay.
So that's one benefit if you have somebody who really needs to get this medicine but can't stand the taste.
Okay.
And they're not smoking or vaporizing isn't an option for them.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something as carbon vapor?
No.
It's pretty much a fancy word for steam.
Okay.
Steam extraction.
Okay.
I didn't know if you would ever mess with. That's one that I liked a lot. You know, about it.
Like the volcano?
No, because it's the water molecules. But I remember a carbon vapor. Like I liked the taste, aroma, and effects of it, but I didn't fully understand the process of making it. I saw a deep froze isopropylene wash.
Okay.
Was another nice kind of extraction that I felt I reacted well to.
I feel like with a nice pure alcohol, you can almost air all of that off.
Okay.
When I'm making Rick Simpson oil, I'll use just Everclear.
Okay.
And then I put it through the still so you can recapture the alcohol.
Okay. What I had heard or kind of my methodology for why it was a deep frozen isopropylene alcohol was a temperature control to not burn off certain cannabinoids or terpenes.
Okay.
On there, so it's always like just like your ice water bubble hash, temperature control. You know, the isopropylene on that deep freeze kind of fully preserved it.
I could see that making sense. And then you were smoking this or vaping it?
Eating it.
Oh, eating it. Okay.
Eating it from there.
I think I would feel pretty comfortable with that extraction.
Okay.
Actually, it seems like it could be pretty clean. I have a hard time understanding why we can't just make rosins all the time when it's just ice water, heat, and pressure. Whereas over here we have butane and some other costs.
Mm-hmm. A quicker process that maybe requires less flour?
Quite possibly. I've only done the butane backwoods style.
Oh, shit.
We shoot it through the pipe.
Okay.
And we put it on the hood of the hot car all day.
God dang.
Until it turns into shatter.
That's pretty... That's hillbilly, all right.
Yeah.
That's that moonshine style. It's strong. I want to feel it. As far as making a topical, how would you go about that? Or have you ever made a topical? Yeah.
I would infuse it with a coconut oil.
Coconut oil
would be my first choice.
Okay. Have you ever tried like a sesame oil or an olive oil?
I have not, but it would probably work just the same and be just as easy.
Okay. What I had found as far as topical wise, because I've had a lot of burns and done a lot of repair work for myself, that coconut oil was really nice. It was more of a saturated fat. So I didn't absorb it as, I didn't feel I absorbed it fully as I could with a trans fat.
Is that the sesame oil?
That would be with the
antimicrobial.
Coconut oil and the antimicrobial. I do like that as far as a topical or any sort of private areas.
Sure.
You know, as far versus using a sesame oil or an olive oil. I don't know how the body would respond to that, but I think the coconut oil would be a better
for lube, or if you're going to use it internally.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put it in a capsule.
Okay. Suppository style?
Suppository, okay. Or I used to use it for menstrual cancer.
The patients that I've seen with ovarian cancer would come in and utilize capsules or Rick Simpson oils kind of in a similar way.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and then go with a 6-week regimen.
I could see that being very, very effective.
Yeah.
Talk to these people that were using it internally that way. How were the psychoactive effects for them? Was it overwhelming? They were too stoned still? They still had to work up to a certain dosage?
Anally, it lit them up.
Okay.
Vaginally, I don't think it got them lit.
Okay, because when I used it vaginally, it was, I think, 10 to 50 milligrams, something like that.
Okay.
And I didn't feel anything.
No sort of head change or anything?
Helped my cramps.
I would think it would. I would think it would. But I hadn't experienced anybody feminine-wise on the psychoactive effect when utilizing it vaginally. But anally or suppository-wise, no, you're absorbing it. Yeah, quick. Yeah, that's very good. Patients with colon cancer have used that to find quite a bit of relief. What's that? Where you get a little fucking dingleberry hanging out? Hemorrhoids.
Oh, they've smeared it on that.
Hemorrhoid. It's helpful with patients with hemorrhoids too.
Okay. In capsules, or you're just telling them straight?
It's fine.
Oil. Yep, right up there.
Yeah, a little 2-knuckler.
Direct.
Maybe a 3-knuckler. I don't know. Can you have 3 knuckles, or is it just 2 knuckles? Two should do it. 2 should do it. But you choose how in depth you want to go.
Right.
With your experiments. But my gal Val, I think this has been a great treat. I really admire your expertise and your passion, on the sales floor and with the other bud tenders. So if you're ever looking for any expertise or anything, my gal Val here at Curaleaf in Sedona, she's got what you need. And as always, Kyle lives here. We want to sign out and go enjoy this beautiful Sedona sunset. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Where am I?
Put the weed in your pocket so we don't fuck up that part. Even free expensive weed on the sidewalk out here.
All right.
That's my next venture, because everybody's asking me for lube.
What all can you do with that hash or the rosin?
So, what if I get that?
I mean, we are already going. I think we're going. Let me double check just to make sure.
Sound happening here and everything.
It looks like it. You got green dots? I got green dots. Hello. Don't mind this Air Force douchebag. You've seen him, the Brewmaster. This is Kyle versus the Brewmaster. Again, there's nothing over there. He's just wheeling back and forth because he knows we're doing this. So, you suck. Shake the bottles more.
I can't believe you guys aren't doing this with the parking lot, dude.
I like him.
Yeah, I know. That'd be hilarious.
Who's the parking lot?
It's his brother. But ultimately, solventless or solvent-free? Do you know the definition between the two? I shouldn't ask you that right now. We should have. We'll cut that out.
No. You let me do some more research.
Solventless